Alright, let's get started. Hi everyone and welcome to Living in English. This is Kasper speaking and let me welcome you to another episode of my speaking practice session. And the thing goes this way. As always, I'm going to answer some exam practice speaking questions and I'll do my best to do it in the most fluent and correct way possible. So, I'm afraid you'll be able to hear some background noises, like my girlfriend is in the next room. Uh, she's having her nap, but as I can hear, the alarm clock just went off. So, I hope she won't interrupt us. Alright, today, I'm going to focus entirely on the subject of animals, and I've just downloaded a PDF file which is named 30 IELTS speaking practice cards, and those cards contain tons of useful speaking practice questions. So I'm really looking forward to answering them. And without any further ado, let's get started immediately. Do you have a pet? No, unfortunately, I don't have any pet, but I'd really like to have one day, because I think it would be really great to have one because a pet is like a cat or a dog is someone that keeps you company at all times. And it's great to have a dog because it's a good feeling to know that someone is waiting for you to come back home, and the dog will just do that. On the other hand, a cat, it's more difficult, it's more complicated when it comes to cats as pets, because they go their own ways. I think so. I used to have cats, but I don't have them anymore. I used to have cats in at my home place, at my parents' house. Uh, we had a small flat and a courtyard, so we let our cats outside. They were, let's say, half wild cats because they spend most of their time outside rather than inside. Sorry, let me just take a quick sip of my coffee because I can't do without it. When I speak for too long, my uh, throat gets sore, and I find it difficult to speak if that happens. So yeah, from time to time, I'm going to take a sip from my mug. I hope you don't mind. But getting back to the subject, I was talking to you about the fact that I had in the past um, some cats, and the thing was that the thing about them was that our flat had a relatively big courtyard, and we let our cats outside, but there was a busy road as well near the apartment, near the flat. So unfortunately, you can imagine what happened to my cats. Yeah. Uh, in case you didn't get it, I wanted to say that they got hit by cars. And even I remember on one occasion I found my dead cat uh, lying alongside the road. It was winter. I even remember the exact date. It was February 14th, 2007. I was 10. at that time. So that was a sort of traumatic memory that stays with you for life. But never mind. I don't want this video to be too sad. Let me remind you that the point of doing this exercise is for me to have uh, speaking practice and to have it as much as I can. So if I the more I talk about some weird stuff, the better the better it will be for my English overall. So the more ramble, the better. The more the weird stuff, the better. I hope you get the general idea. So, I used to have pets. Mm, most of them were cats, but I also had a few dogs. One after one, I mean, not a few at once. And strange things, strange things happened to each of them. They didn't live long, unfortunately, with the exception of my last dog, uh, which her name was Saba, and she had a long life. She had a long life, actually. She died at the ripe old age of 13, which is, she was a really old dog, if you ask me. 13 years old, yeah. She had a relatively long life. So, yeah, but currently I don't have any pet at this moment, and I wouldn't like have any because my girlfriend and I are renting a small flat. It has like 33 or 4 square meters, and we have only one living room, one bedroom, and a bathroom. So, and a kitchen. I forgot completely about mentioning kitchen. Of course, we have one. Can you even imagine a modern flat without a kitchen? I definitely can't. So, what I want to, my message is that I don't, sorry, mm, we don't have space to keep a pet inside. And we live in a small town, so it would be impossible to let our dog or cat outside. Of course, I would walk my dog if I happen to have one, but you know what I mean, I hope. And when I had a dog at my young age, when I still lived at my parents' place, um, that dog was running happily along the courtyard. I don't know where I'm going with this, never mind. Let's better. So let's just move on to answering another question, shall we? What types of animals do you think make the best pets? That's a pretty obvious one to answer, and I'll go with cats and dogs. As they say, dogs are best friends of human, and I'm sure the same goes with the cats. But cats are different to a degree. Um, Cats and dogs can give you a different sort of love. It seems to me that dogs love you unconditionally. It's enough for them to love you. Uh, Sorry, the simple fact that you exist is enough for your dog to love you, and the love will be unconditional. I've experienced it a few times with my own dogs, so I know what I'm talking about. But when it comes to cats, the thing is a bit more complicated because the sort of love that your cat can give you is conditional to some extent. You have to deserve for cat's love. And that's my opinion on the subject. But I think it's possible to create a strong bond with your cat. Let's take my girlfriend as an example. Um, she has a cat. Mm, Her cat is, I don't know, no one is sure how old is that cat. She's like 14 or 15, I'm not entirely sure, but she's a rather old cat, if you ask me. And that cat was with her, I mean with my girlfriend, when she needed company. So my girlfriend created a strong bond with her cat, and it would be a complete disaster if something bad happens to that cat. I don't want even to imagine it. And I guess that's the main reason that people keep pets, and because they don't want to be alone, they want to have some sort of bond with their animal. I don't know, stuff like that. But when you see at the subject from a historical point of view, um, for example, dogs had a very utilitarian purpose. Uh, I mean, people kept dogs for a reason, and the reason was if a wild animal approaches the camp or a camp of prehistorical people, um, that dog would raise an alarm by barking, or um, a dog is actually a good company while hunting and stuff like that. I guess I so I guess that's the main reason for people to domesticate dogs in the first place. And I hope you didn't hear that because someone is shouting outside of my window, and someone is shouting rather ordinary words. I mean, rather bad words. So, why do people have pets? That's another question. And I've just partially answered this question, I think. So let me repeat myself. Um, they keep pets, they have pets because they don't want to feel lonely and they want to have some kind of company. But for some people, having pets can have hmm, a different reasoning to it. I want to say that they keep pets because they are useful. Like, for example, I don't know, dogs can take guard of your cattle. What am I talking? Of your cattle. Yeah, maybe if you happen to be a shepherd, dogs can uh, guard your flock of sheep. I don't know. So dogs are really useful. When you are in danger, I'm more than certain that your dog will uh, arrive to help you. Yeah. Honestly, I find it really difficult to express myself today. I don't know what's going on with me. I feel like I lack words constantly. Or maybe that's the subject I'm not familiar with, and in fact, I lack words. I don't know. Moving on to another question. Are there any types of animals that you think shouldn't be kept as a pet? Definitely. There are plenty of them. I can't even imagine keeping a wild animal as a pet. Can you imagine it? Having a little tiger, that little sweet tiger, and that you cuddle with him, and but as it grows and it grows bigger, it will eat you immediately. The same goes with bears, lions. There are some people, I think, that keep them as animals, but If I'm not mistaken, in Poland is illegal to have a wild animal as a pet. Hmm, I don't know. I guess there are some weird people out there that they don't know what to do with their money because they have so much of them that they spend them on such weird stuff like having a wild animal. Mm. Can you imagine walking your tiger or wolf outside? That would be an interesting experience to see that, of course. But if I happen to see someone walking a wolf or a tiger, I would definitely run away at the speed light. So yeah, mm, can I give you some another examples of pets that people keep at home? Um, the most common ones, as I've said, in my opinion, are dogs and cats, and it's pretty obvious why. But some people keep as well hamsters, spiders, snakes, fish in an aquarium, and actually many different sorts of pets. And some people um, keep at home plants as well, but it's a whole different subject. But maybe let me tell you a short story about that. Um, at the day of my girlfriend's last birthday, which was almost a year ago, her mother and her sister bought her a plant, and she isn't a big fan of plants. But she didn't want that plant, and we have to keep it at home. I'm at the moment looking at that plant as it lays on the windowsill because it needs a lot of sunlight. And the thing about it is that it attracts different insects, but it's a present and we need to take care of it because the mother of my girlfriend and her sister would be really sad if something bad happened to this plant. They would be disappointed and devastated, I guess. Or maybe not. Let's don't check it out. I don't want to check it if that's true. So I've just listed a few other examples of animals that people keep as a pet. Mm, At the beginning of the video, I said that I don't have any pet and I wouldn't like to have one at the moment. Maybe I would change my mind later if finally my girlfriend and I would be able to afford a place of our own. So when we have enough space, I would reconsider having a pet. It would be great actually to buy my girlfriend a little sweet kitty. She would fall in love with it immediately. Definitely she would, because she is a real cat enjoyer, admirer. Is there anything else I can say about the subject? I don't know. If something comes to my mind, I will let you know immediately. So let's move on to another question. Describe a wild animal that lives in your country. You should say what animal it is, where it lives, how people feel about this animal. So maybe let's go with a wolf. I mean, a wolf would make a good example of that. So wolves in Poland are an endangered species, and that's because of us people. We hunted wolves because they were our natural enemy. They were our natural enemy, I guess. I don't know. In the past times, wolves attacked us, I think, and they posed a real danger for us. But it isn't the case anymore because with the growth of urban life and civilization as a whole, um, I guess a natural habitat where wolves happen to live um, went shrinking, and the population of them was falling, was getting smaller and smaller, and today they are on the brink of extinction, if I'm not mistaken, of course. So that's a wolf. It lives. Wolves live in forests because what else could they live if not in forests? And how people feel about this animal. Mm, I think in most of the cases they don't think about wolves, and I'm quite sure that no one actually saw any wolf in real life, with the exception of sawing one in the zoo. But other than that, nope. I wouldn't like to meet a wolf in nature, in the forest, in a forest. Probably I wouldn't survive that encounter. But never mind. Mm, so people are afraid of wild animals, and that's for a good reason, because we people, um, we are quite weak by nature. We don't have big claws, sharp teeth, and we are rather weak when it comes to our physical build, to our muscular mass, and stuff like that. So we don't stand a chance, even the slightest chance, when we encounter a wolf or another wild animal. So that encounter would most probably end in our death. You will end up dead, basically. But I saw a boar uh, a few times in our life, and the funny thing, and funnily enough, uh, I saw a boar, a wild pig, let's say. I'm not sure if I pronounce the word correctly, boar, wild pig. So I found it in Warsaw, which is the capital city of Poland. There is the region of Warsaw called Białowęka. Yeah, I know, a ridiculously difficult word to pronounce, but I saw it in the middle of the city. And boars are becoming something common to people living in that area. I know it sounds ridiculous, and if you don't believe me, I don't blame you. Uh, I didn't believe it either. I finally believed it when I saw it with my own eyes. So, yeah, mm, with a hand on my heart, I'm not lying here. So, um, moving on. Explain if you think there will be more or fewer of this animal in the wild in the future, and why. The answer is pretty obvious, because natural habitats of wild animals are shrinking year by year, and that's due to us, people, because our city grow year by year. We take more and more space as a species, so we are stronger, smarter, not stronger, but we are smarter, more developed. Of course, obviously, we have technology, and animals don't stand a chance with us. So, if we want to, hmm, one day, if we decided to kill some animal species, that animal wouldn't stand a chance. in confrontation with us. I don't know, I'm talking nonsense, honestly. Uh, so, what I want to say about this part of the video. Mm, I'm speaking for almost 30 minutes about pets and animals and wild animals. And I've encountered a few problems. I've come across a few problems. And the problems are that I really lack vocabulary in this particular subject to speak about it. And I stumble a lot while trying to express myself. So there is a thing to there is a thing that I need definitely more practice. But on the other hand, let's face it, how many times in your life do you speak about wild animals? Not much, I guess. But it's the thing that I need to be able to speak if I want to master this language. That's my opinion on the matter. So let's not make any excuses. I need more practice. And the good thing about it is that I'm having practice right now. So cheers. Uh, Actually, I'm curious if my girlfriend is sleeping. Probably she can hear me, but she doesn't want to interrupt me. And I'm grateful to her for that because she knows that doing the YouTube stuff is important to me as well as getting better at English. So she is incredibly patient with me because I have lots of interests. Um, I'm quite of a independent person that sets boundaries, and I just need more time. I enjoy my own company, and to some extent, she is similar to me in that sense. Because if we have a day off, like we have today, for example, I'm recording this video on 15th August, and today it's a national, it's a public holiday and a religious one as well. And we don't have to work, we have a day off as a nation, let's put it this way. Shops are closed and things like that. So if you don't work in hospital, if you are not a police officer, etc., you have a day off today. And we decided to have a chill day off, to have a chill day inside and don't go outside. So we are trying to make, uh, sorry, so we are trying to make the most of our day off, but we decided to stay inside. And if I didn't wake her up, she's having a nap at the moment. So yeah, I digress again. So maybe let's move on to another part. What's the purpose of having zoos? Hmm. There are a few of them, if you ask me. And first and the most obvious one that comes to my mind is the simple fact that we keep, we have zoos for entertainment reasons. Because watching animals, especially the ones that aren't typical of our climate, like wild animals, like like lions, tigers, etc. Um, you don't normally meet them in Polish forests. So the same goes with so many different species of animals, and it's entertaining, if you ask me. But if I remember correctly, I can't remember exactly, but I think I've been to the zoo only twice in my whole life. And by the way, I'm 30. and I was in the zoo as a kid last time. I might be wrong. I can't remember the exact number of times that I went to the zoo, but my guess is with two. And I remember I saw giraffes, lions, tigers, elephants, and it's entertaining, especially for kids. So one reason for us, the purpose of having zoos is entertainment. So that's the main reason, but there are of course other reasons, like if a species is an endangered one, keeping them in zoos uh, is the only chance actually for that species to survive. For example, hmm, I don't know how to call this animal in English, so let me check it quickly on the internet. Żubr in English. Yeah, so żubr. In Polish, it's called żubr, and it means, according to Wikipedia, European bison or wisent. So, uh, European wisent, żubr, used to be an endangered species, and it was on the brink of extinction. But, um, but fortunately, we managed to keep that species alive, and we can enjoy having them. So, and it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for keeping them in zoos. So sometimes it's the only chance for them to survive, for that animals. So having zoos have advantages and disadvantages as well. Having zoos have pluses and minuses. It's ups and downs. Oh, another nice phrasing, I guess. Mm, what's your opinion about animals being kept in zoo? Actually, I don't have any opinion. It's not the thing that it's not one of those things that concern me in my daily life. But if I have to ask these questions, I don't mind keeping them in zoos because they are safe there, they are fed as well, and they are kept in good conditions. But first of all, they are safe there. Of course, they are enslaved to a degree. I'm not sure if it's a correct word, but let's put it this way: they are enslaved, um, which I want to say that they don't live in their natural habitat. But on the other hand, they might die there as well. And by keeping them in zoos, we keep them safe. Or maybe they are happy being kept in cages. We don't know. How do you think zoos could improve? Another question that I've never considered before. But if I'm forced to answer this, hmm, more space for animals, definitely. Better food and less visitors. It must be annoying being in a cage and that stupid people walking day and night to watch you. Or maybe I'm looking at the thing from a human's perspective, and animals don't mind. They don't think in the same categories as we do, probably. So, mm, do you think is it important to conserve the world's animal species? Definitely, it's extremely important, and I would even say it's vital. Why am I saying so? It's because if a species become extinct, it's lost forever. And that would be a shame because isn't it obvious? Actually, it would be a disaster to lose a species. Can you even imagine if dogs were extinct, became extinct? That would be such a loss. And actually, the same goes with any species, if you ask me. It's a complete disaster if one goes extinct. So that's my opinion on the matter. What's your opinion on poaching? Yeah, I know you may consider me a bad human being, but I don't care. Of course, I'm well aware that it's bad, but it doesn't affect my life in the slightest. So it would be good for us people to stop poaching, but what can we do? Like, I don't know. Do you expect me to go on a strike, to go on the street to protest against poaching? That wouldn't change anything. I know I may sound a bit cruel, but I'm busy living my own life, and poaching is not a matter of my concern. So you may think I'm a bad person. That's your decision. You can develop your own opinion about me. That's your business. Mm, do you think money should be spent on protecting wild animals? Again, what does it mean to protect wild animals? If it means to stop destroying their natural habitats, or does it mean to keeping them in zoos? You know what I mean. Protecting wild animals can mean tons of different things, and if you don't explain to me what do you mean by that, I wouldn't give you a definite answer to that question. In theory, it's good to spend money on protecting them, but in reality, it may turn out even worse than it would be if we wouldn't interfere. All right, this video is getting pretty long, and I find and I've been finding it extremely challenging for me to express myself because the questions that I've been answering uh, are extremely difficult for me because I haven't really thought about them earlier, and I don't even think about that sorts of things on a regular basis. Like, so pets and animals, wild animals, are a challenging one to discuss, and I feel a bit tired by it. But on the other hand, the video is too short for it to end at this point. I'd like to speak for a bit longer because um, I started to feel that need to improve faster and faster, to have more speaking practice. So I want to say by that um, how do I even express it? I want to stack up those hours of speaking practice, and maybe I will start having an Excel spreadsheet, which in I will number those hours. I don't know, which will I count those hours. I know I'm speaking chaotic and in a disorganized manner, but again, the subject of discussion was ridiculously difficult for me today. Maybe can I add something on the subject? I'm not entirely sure. Sorry. Yeah, sometimes I need to change the position. The, Sometimes I need to change the position I'm sitting in because I developed Over the years, I've developed problems with my back. Um, Most of the time, I feel a slight dull ache in the lower part of my back, and it's irritating. Mm, A doctor recommended me exercising, but I hate to say it, but I keep putting it off for almost 2 years now. Sometimes I feel an urge to exercise and I do it for a few days, but then I stop for months. So I know and I'm aware that I need to keep the lower part of my back stronger. I mean, the muscles of that part of my back, I need to keep them stronger, but I'm too lazy. And that's another fun fact about me, because in some way I'm extremely lazy. For example, when it comes to cleaning or exercising. But on the other hand, I'm an incredibly hardworking person. For example, when it comes to my studies, my full-time job, and things like that. So I'm a man of contradictions, and I'm pretty sure every human being is that. You can say the same of every human being to a degree, of course. We are full of contradictions, and they don't exclude each other. So, yeah, I've been talking for 40 plus minutes, and can I sum up this video? So, in today's video, I was talking about animals, and I found it really challenging because I don't have necessary vocabulary and I didn't have any practice of speaking about this subject. To be honest, I don't even talk about pets or animals in my native language as well. So that's a funny thing, because when you learn a foreign language, you are forced to um, learn lots of things that you don't use in your normal life, in your everyday life. But on the other hand, if you really want to master the language, that's skill. And I happen to be the person that really wants to achieve it, and I want to master this beautiful language. So I need to be prepared to speak about a various amount of topics, subjects, and pets, animals are one of them. I'd like to prepare for, um, I want to be able to speak about pretty much anything. So, yeah, I still need to have tons and tons of practice, but with every passing day, I'm stacking up those practice hours, and I'm happy about that. Actually, because as they say, practice makes perfect. And as I've been doing this exercise for some time now, I've seen an incredible amount of progress. It's amazing, actually. And in a few days, I'm going to record another update. It'll be a 90 days update about my progress, and I it's going to be a pretty long one, I guess. And definitely, I have many interesting stories, thoughts that I would like to share with you guys. And maybe at this time, I'm thinking about it, and I want my sorry, I really want my channel to evolve. I want to expand, and I want to speak about different topics, not like I'm doing right now, studying, but I want to share my thoughts in a more organized way. So you can expect a series of unfortunately, a series of scripted videos about my learning strategies, my thoughts about language language community out there on YouTube, my learning routine. I will share with you some thoughts about learning strategies, what do I think about different methods, and many different stuff. And of course, there are plenty of people who do just the same, and they probably do it better than I will ever be able to do. But I think the internet is big enough to find a place for a small YouTube channel like mine. So I'm sure I have something interesting to share with the language learning community. And the thing is, I'm not an English native speaker, but it may be an advantage to some point, I think, because I had to learn English. I'm still do, as a matter of fact, and it may be an advantage uh, because many English learners can relate to my situation um, because I've been learning, I've been working really hard every day. I'm working every day on it. Sorry, I work every day on it. I put an enormous amount of hours every day. As a matter of fact, lately I've been spending 3 hours on active studying. I don't even count the time that I spend on reading or listening. So I'm stacking up those hours. I don't want to go in circles and repeat myself, but it's important to put an emphasis on it. So yeah, you can expect those videos to be published rather sooner than later. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to start working on the scripts soon. And on Monday, uh, I'm going to buy some recording kit um, because I want my videos to be of better quality. I want to improve the quality of my videos. Uh, so I need a better light, better. No, my camera is good enough. Maybe some microphone, or I guess the quality of the sound is alrightish. Maybe. I don't know. So I want to buy some equipment and I'm going to do that. And on the next week, I'm going to start filming the series of videos that I was just talking about. Let me add one more thing. Um, I've been considering making a series of videos as well about debunking language learning myths from the position of a language learner that tries to do his best to learn English. Because let's be honest, there is tons of bullshit out there on the internet. There are so many pitfalls to avoid. It isn't even funny. And I fell in most of them. Actually, I believed in tons of bullshit. So that's a bad thing, and I could have done so much better because I've dedicated a few years of my life to learning languages, and my progress could have been so much better if I did it correctly. For example, I've already mentioned it a few times, not exactly in this video, but overall on my channel that English is my second foreign language, and my first one is Russian. And maybe I will do some videos in Russian in the future, but I'm not sure about that. But I learned Russian mostly by comprehensible input, And the problem with that is that I spent years, a few years actually, on consuming content every day. I've read tons of books, I've listened to hundreds and hundreds, thousands even, hours of spoken Russian, and I'm really good at understanding it, but when it comes to speaking, I find it difficult to say the least. And but maybe if I spend a few hundreds of hours on speaking practice, my Russian would skyrocket. I'm pretty sure about that. That's the main conclusion that I have over almost 3 months of having this YouTube channel. That if you want to learn a language, you just need to speak, and there are no exceptions for the rule. So, yeah, is there anything else that I want to add to that? I've been speaking for almost an hour, so it's going to be the longest video on my channel so far, and I'm really happy about that because my aim is to post an hour-long video every day. Yeah, I guess it won't happen, unfortunately, but who knows, maybe it will. Yeah, it's just that I need to believe in myself more, because I'm realizing that I lack self-confidence, particularly in my abilities and skills. And I think I'm worse than I am in pretty much every aspect of life. So that's a bad thing, I guess, and I need to work on it. So I should really believe in myself more. But yeah, this is getting, this is getting, sorry, what it is with my language today. I find it really difficult to express myself today, but this is getting a really long video. It's becoming a long one, and maybe can I wrap it up somehow? If I'm to sum it up, how can I sum it up? So in today's video, I was talking about pets, animals, and I really struggled to do so because of many reasons, and I don't want to repeat myself again and again because I feel that like today I'm going in circles repeating myself. So let's don't do that again. So I had some troubles with that, but the one conclusion that I made from this video is that I need more practice. And the same goes with every video that I've made so far on this channel. But if if I'm focusing, but when focusing on the subject of animals, I need so much more practice. I find it ridiculously difficult to talk about them. And there are some aspects of this subject like zoos, poaching, conserving the natural habitats of wild species that I've never really thought about it, and honestly, I couldn't care less. Maybe I'm a bad human being, but really, do you think about poaching in your everyday life? I don't think so, to say the least. And that's tricky about speaking exams because you need to be prepared to speak about a wide variety of subjects that you don't normally think about in real life. And in many cases, I'm sure that you've never thought about it before. And yeah, sometimes I feel that my videos my videos are getting personal, because I can open myself up to you guys, even if no one is, even if no one watches this video. Uh, that doesn't really matter to me, because first I have my place to practice speaking, but my message is in a foreign language to people around me. So I'm more than sure that they don't put any effort to decode what I'm saying now. Sorry. So that's a good thing. So that's why I can be honest here. I can express myself freely. I can say anything I want, and to some degree, it's a sort of diary of mine. Maybe that would be actually a good idea. Another video series of diaries in English. I need to think it over. It's like you have so many ideas. I need to write them down, otherwise, I will forget them all. So, yeah, another excellent idea, a chance for my channel to develop. So, is there anything else I want to add? Honestly, I know I'm prolonging this video and I'm making it longer than it should be, but I really want to strike that 1 hour time mark, and it's only 3.5 minutes left. So let's do that. So maybe let me check the time. Yeah, I need to wake up my girlfriend soon because, oh, maybe I'm going to tell you about my plans for the evening. So soon I'm going to wake up my girlfriend, and then we will eat something together, and then I promise her that we will watch a film today because she enjoys watching films a lot, and I really like to spend time with her doing that. And we can lie down together, cuddle with a laptop on my knees, and it's warm, cozy, and nice. And we are watching, and when we watch some film, we feel that sort of bond, closeness. If you don't have a girlfriend, I highly recommend having one. What am I talking? Sounds ridiculous. I know, but it's a great feeling to have someone, someone that loves you, and that you can love that person in return. And if you don't have that sort of person, that's a real shame. That's a real shame, honestly. My life would be in a completely different place and shape if it wasn't for my girlfriend. I don't want to say that she saved me. No, that's not the case. Quite the opposite, actually, but never mind. I'm not going to go too deep into that because that's none of your business, is it? And but what I want to say is that I'm really glad that she is around, and I consider myself a happy guy, a lucky guy to have her. And I'm more than certain that she can say exactly the same thing. So I was talking about my plans for the evening. Like I said, we are going to stay inside to stay in, and we are going to watch a film, make some dinner together, and have a nice chill evening together. And tomorrow we have to wake up earlier than usual uh, because uh, we have to visit our family, the family from her side, to some sort of family celebration. So, to be honest, I don't want to go there because this is my last day off, the end of the weekend, and I'd prefer to stay in. But I know I can't neglect them. it's a bad thing to neglect your family, if you ask me. So sometimes you need to get out, get up of your bed and put yourself out there. Yeah, but the thing is that the funny thing about laziness is that I know that I don't want to. I would prefer to stay in, but on the other hand, I'm aware that I completely understand it, that I would have a great time with my family. So there's nothing to complain. Another good thing about that is that I don't need to cook tomorrow because we would get served lunch there. So another good thing. All right, I've been talking for an hour and I'm improvising as always. I've just finished my coffee, so it's a good place to finish this video. And what else can I say? That's it for today. See you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully it wasn't too boring. And if it was, sorry for that. So, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye for now. Bye.